ESCOFFIER is the latest 5-star character arriving in version 5.6. In this video, we're diving deep into her kit, breaking down her skills, burst, passives, and constellations, and seeing how she fits into current team compositions. Whether you're considering pulling for her or just curious about her role, this breakdown has everything you need to know. Base stats and weapon. ESCOFFIER boasts 13,348 base HP, 347 base attack, and 732 base defense, along with a crit rate bonus stat that reaches 19.2%. While her base attack isn't the highest among 5-star polearm users, that built-in crit rate helps her scale efficiently, without relying too much on substats. Unlike a traditional main DPS, her real strength lies in team utility and synergy, rather than raw damage output. Normal attacks. Her basic attacks consist of 3 quick spear strikes, a charged upward thrust that consumes stamina, and a standard plunge attack. Nothing groundbreaking here. You won't be building her around these moves, but that's fine because her true value lies in her skill and burst. Elemental skill. ESCOFFIER's skill has 2 distinct modes, based on whether you tap or hold it. Tap mode. She summons a mechanical assistant that follows your active character, periodically firing cryo projectiles called Frozen Parfait. At level 10, these deal cryo damage scaling at 216% of her attack and persist for a full 20 seconds, a long uptime that makes her an excellent cryo applicator, especially for freeze teams. Additionally, while this assistant is active, it triggers an AoE cryo attack at intervals, further enhancing her synergy with Fontaine's AI combat mechanics. Hold mode. Instead of following you, the assistant becomes stationary and absorbs elemental energy from nearby attacks, providing a different layer of strategic depth. Elemental burst. Here's where things get really interesting. Her burst delivers a huge AoE cryo hit, scaling at 1,670% of her attack at level 10, while also healing all nearby teammates. The healing itself scales with her attack, 309.7%, plus a flat 2,373 HP, and it doesn't stop there. After casting her burst, ESCOFFIER applies a healing overtime effect for 9 seconds, restoring HP at intervals based on 138.24% of her attack. This makes her more than just a burst healer. She provides sustained healing, keeping your team in the fight longer. With her, you won't necessarily need a dedicated healer, making her a versatile hybrid cryo DPS support. Passive abilities and resistance shred. ESCOFFIER's value goes beyond healing. One of her passive abilities reduces enemy cryo and hydro resistance when they're hit by her skill or burst. The resistance shred scales based on your team composition. 1 cryo hydro teammate, 5% resistance reduction. 2 cryo hydro teammates, 10% resistance reduction. 3 cryo hydro teammates, 15% resistance reduction. A full cryo hydro team, a massive 55% resistance reduction. This makes her an incredible enabler for cryo and hydro heavy teams, significantly boosting overall damage output. This level of resistance shred is remarkable. Most characters cap out around 15 to 20%, so ESCOFFIER is pushing the ceiling. However, this comes at the cost of team composition flexibility, as she strongly favors freeze comps. Teams like Ayaka Kokomi become even stronger with ESCOFFIER, as she applies cryo consistently, enhances cryo damage, and provides healing without requiring much field time, making her an ideal support for freeze teams. Constellations. Constellation 1. C1. If the entire team consists of hydro and cryo characters, her skill or burst grants a 60% cryo critical damage boost to all nearby allies for 15 seconds. A massive buff. Constellation 2, C2. When her skill is activated in cryo assist mode, she generates 5 stacks. If a teammate deals cryo damage, 1 stack is consumed to boost that hit by 240% of ESCOFFIER's attack. However, if the attack hits multiple enemies, a stack is consumed per target. So while it excels against bosses and elites, it depletes quickly in AoE fights. Constellation 4, C4, extends her healing over time effect by 6 seconds and introduces a chance to double the healing and restore 2 energy. The probability scales with her critical rate, naturally synergizing with her base stats. Constellation 6, C6, transforms her into a CRYO artillery machine. When her assistant is in mobile mode, every time the active character lands a normal, charged, or plunging attack, the assistant fires extra CRYO projectiles. These deal 350% of her attack as AoE CRYO damage, count as skill damage, and can trigger every 0.5 seconds, up to 6 times per summon. This significantly boosts CRYO output in fast-hitting teams, build flexibility and team synergy. What makes ESCOFFIER fascinating is her modular playstyle. She can be built in multiple ways: full attack for healing, elemental mastery for reaction-based teams, crit stats to enhance her constellations. She thrives in freeze teams, supports mono CRYO setups, and provides strong off-field CRYO application. However, she isn't universally plug-and-play like Bennett or Fiorina. In pyro or electro-heavy compositions, she loses much of her value. Her resistance shred, CRYO crit buff, and synergies become ineffective. That said, for players building around Skirk, ESCOFFIER is an excellent support choice. Her consistent CRYO application, team-wide healing, and resistance reduction complements Skirk's playstyle perfectly. The 55% CRYO resistance shred alone massively boosts Skirk's damage output, especially in freeze-oriented setups. Additionally, ESCOFFIER's healing ensures longer field time for your main DPS, which pairs well with Skirk's combat style. If you're planning to pull for Skirk or save for her rerun, ESCOFFIER could be a core addition to maximize CRYO team efficiency. By the way, I will be having a Welkin Moon giveaway when the channel reaches 1,000 subscribers, so watch out for that. Are you planning to pull for ESCOFFIER? Which teams do you see her excelling in? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.